Okay, this is one of those videos where when I say this now, I want to look back on this 10 years later and see how I've grown. Because every time, I remember when I was like 16, I wrote a little blog on MySpace. Yes, MySpace. And it was kind of titled "All Women Are Bitches." Now, no, when you look at it, you would think I was just like disrespecting women, but when you really read it, it's about the emotion. Everyone had like every women I met, they're like even the more sophisticated women, they have this bitch emotion that where one is easier to pull out of some women, the other one is hard to. So at least that's how I remember writing it. My MySpace is still up. It's probably still there if I can find it. I don't know. So every 10 years, I know I've said stuff, and I always like looking back on it. That's probably why I like Facebook memories, because I've said stuff. Like before, I never liked bald-headed women. And I remember saying, I like Amber Rose, but I don't know. I want to see her with hair, and because I didn't like bald women back then. Now I love bald women, and I think Amber Rose looks so basic with hair that it's so basic that I actually prefer her bald, because I feel like it's like her thing. Like that's it. Like every time I see her with hair, it's like she looks like a regular basic chick. But when she's like bald, you like, that's Amber Rose. Anyway, so with that being said, this is going to be titled "If I Offend You, Good." Now, the reason why I'm saying this, because I don't want to like go out and intentionally offend people. Like that's stupid, and you're just kind of like asking for stuff. But I've seen in a lot of lately, I feel like a lot lately that people are not honest with their opinions. They're more or less politically correct. And I'm not a fan of the PC culture because it's not honest. It's like my thing is, you're not going to like everything a person has to say. Like, but you don't have to feel, and I feel like this is very pussified. Like, I've been seeing videos of like people wearing MAGA hats, make America great again. Like, and I've said this millions of times, I don't support Trump, but I'm not going to be scared of a fucking MAGA hat. Like, when I see him, people's like, when I see a MAGA hat, it instills fear and all that other stuff. To me, speaking for myself, no, I don't see it personally, and I never understood why people look at that as fear. And some people's like, oh, that's like a Ku Klux Klan hat. No, to me, no, it's not. The only thing similar to a Ku Klux Klan hat is a Ku Klux Klan hat. All right, I don't want to make it seem like I'm defending Trump supporters, but unless it is a fucking Ku Klux Klan, because they actually killed and lynched. You really haven't seen people like really killed and lynched. I know there was that shit in Charlottesville, but I honestly think they was just like some racists, and I honestly don't think black people should have been there anywhere. There was a lot of people who was like, let them have their fucking speech. It was about a fucking statue anyway. Let them have their fucking march. Just leave it alone. And then people didn't. They tried to fight, and then that's how all that shit happens. So with that being said, I've always been trying to give my honest opinion, and I kind of look at Kevin Hart's situation where, he said some homophobic slurs and all that, and that kind of like, how can I say this? It prevented him from hosting the Oscars, which he always wanted to do. And a lot of people, one of my great friends, he was like, if you're doing it then, you're doing it now, which is probably true. He's probably doing it now, but he's probably not doing it on social media. But then again, I don't think he would have realized that shit would have backfired anyway. Like, who'd have thought, like, 10 years later, your shit would have backfired? And then The problem I have with that is just that you don't see his progress is of him understanding. You don't. You trying to chastise him for what he was then, not who he is now. If I'm pretty sure it was like if it was 10 years ago, who he was before and who he is now is like really different. Now, I always said this: if I offend you, good. I feel like you getting offended gives you. It shows the human side of you. Like, I don't have to like everything you like. And that's okay. If you feel offended, that's okay. It's not going to make sense to everybody, but it's just like, I feel like you know, it's a human emotion. Some things will offend you. Now, the thing is what you're going to do about it. A lot of things, I feel like, well, now it's like nobody really like have conversations with each other. They're just wanting to, you know, take people's jobs and shit. And I'm not a fan of that either. Especially if you work hard for your job. Because really, if you don't like the person, you could just not watch the show. If someone did something, you just hit them when it hurts the wallet. Because obviously punching people in the face don't work. But what you need to do is hit them in their wallet. That's what a lot of people does. But you know, I feel like, especially like the LGBT. I've said this before. The LGBT been bullied so much that finally, when they're like in a position of power, they're the bullies now. And I don't blame them. Tell you the truth, I really don't blame them. Because, like I said, they've been bullied before. Now they're in that control. It's like when I compare it to like black people not having money. So when they finally get money, they want to spend it on these luxurious things that they seen people that they idolize, or, you know, the people with money got. And now they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like, if someone has a Lamborghini, now you want a Lamborghini once you get your money. Like, if you got this big mansion, your mansion got to be twice as big. I feel like since gay people have been bullied and beat up, like now they're in the media. They're in the media, it's in the music, it's in the fashion industry. They may control whatever you want. They can like deny you just because and they could deny you just because of what you done said. Now, is that wrong? To me, yes, it's 100% wrong. But at the same time, they put themselves in that power. If you don't like that, and I've always said this, if you don't like it, you either do what do as you're told, or start your own. And with the wonders of YouTube today, a lot of people could start their own platform. You could build your own platform. I used to get arguments from some black women that black men don't support them, and to me, I find that a lie, because I know a lot of black men that worship the ground black women walk on, but y'all never look at them. But that's another story. But anyway, she was talking about it seems like black men don't try to support. I said, look, if you, and like they don't ever do nothing for black women. And my response is, well, you have the platform that you can do for black women. So whatever you can do, whatever you feel like someone else isn't doing, you could do it. That's why we have shit like BET. That's why we have shit like the old channel, old Women's or Lifetime and all that other stuff. They tell you it's television for women. You could create, like, there's, the Me Too movement. To me, that was for women until that shit got, I want to say stolen, or white people took over it and then fucked it up. Let's just say that. But try to keep this short. It seems like every time I talk is almost like 10 minutes. In conclusion, some things you should be offended about, but I don't know where this is going. To tell you the truth. But it was on my mind. If you feel let's just say, if I say something ignorant, I will apologize. But if I really mean that shit, I'm not gonna apologize. I don't think I should apologize because that's how I feel. Now, if you can accept that or not, I know some people are gonna like bring Hitler and some shit like that, but Hitler actually killed people. I'm not killing people. Or I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I mean, if I have something else on my mind, I could probably, come here like I usually do. Till then, I'm gonna ski on fly. Peace.